Live from our studios on Karaba Avenue, this is the QTV Nightly News and I am Jul Denjai. Thank you for joining us. Let's take a look at the headline-making stories. Following an investigation, the Gambian government has revoked over a dozen land allocations in Kamalo in the Greater Banjul area following what has been called illegal land allocations in the area to several businesses and individuals. The Minister of Transport, Works and Infrastructure, Ibrahim Asilla, together with staff of his ministry and the National Roads Authority officials, began a week-long nationwide tour on Saturday of ongoing roads projects. The Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy is organizing a senior management intra-sectorial retreat to enhance coordination and align sectoral programs for improved outcomes. And the 8th edition of the much-awaited and popular Jajambure Kankurang Festival took place over the weekend, attracting people from diverse backgrounds, including many international visitors. In sports news, Team Hunt Down are champions of the QCell-sponsored Sukuta Nawetan League competition after winning replay final against Arabic School at the Dembardu football ground on Saturday. These and other stories coming ahead. Do stay with us. Thank you very much for staying with us. If you're just tuning in, this is the QTV Nightly News. Now, following investigations, the Gambian government has revoked more than a dozen land allocations at the Kamalo in the West Coast region. This decision comes after what the government described as illegal land allocations to several businesses in the area. The announcement was made during a press conference on Monday by the Minister of Lands, Regional Governments and Religious Affairs, Hamad Nkeba. QTV's Ansumana Esonyasi was at the press conference and this is his report.
Reports of alleged illegal land allocations at the Kamalo industrial layout last year sparked widespread criticism, prompting the Minister of Lands to launch an investigation through a committee made up of members from various departments. After the committee completed its investigation and consulted with the Ministry of Justice, Minister Hamad Nkeba announced that all 14 recommendations from the task force had been adopted. Among the key recommendations were the development of a policy on land administration and management, the establishment of a proper filing system, and the prosecution of officials identified as persons of interest in the case of the missing Kamalo files.
On the recommendation for the ministry to endeavor to have a proper filing system in place and ensure that efforts are made to the effect that the Kamalo file is produced is also hereby adopted. Remember, the Kamalo file disappeared immediately after the investigation commenced. We've still not got the file, but we hope to see the file soon. Recommendation 3, on the recommendation to cancel the Kamalo layout in entirety as an industrial layout is hereby varied and substituted with option number 2 of the legal opinion. Accordingly, Kamalo proper is hereby maintained and Kamalo extension is hereby revoked in its thought entirely.
Furthermore, Minister Barr revealed that all lands acquired at Kamalo without approval from the ministry have been revoked. He explained that of the 40 plots at Kamalo proper, 12 have been forfeited, while 28 land applications at Kamalo extension have been cancelled. The minister also issued a stern warning stating that those responsible for such impropriety will be held accountable for their actions.
The 7 plots compensation by the ministry without any evidence presented with task force as to the integrity of the compensation process has left the whole compensation with more uncertainty and likelihood of abuse of process. In conclusion, the ministry has also noted with concern the task force recommendation on the staff of the ministry adversely mentioned by the report and consequently adopted the task force recommendation against them.
It is hoped that the action proposed has allayed public concern about the allocation of the land in the Kamalo area. Answana Sonyasi for QTV News.
Now, the Minister of Transport, Works and Infrastructure, Ibrahim Silla, together with staff of his ministry and the National Roads Authority officially began a week-long nationwide tour on Saturday of ongoing road projects across the country. Usman Jatta tells us more.
In 2018, the Barrow-led administration embarked on nationwide transformative road infrastructure projects to enhance connectivity, ease public movement, and stimulate transport-reliant economic activity. With the intention to ensure the timely completion and quality of work, the Transport and Works Minister Ibrahim Silla begins his tour with Lot 1 urban road projects in the Kanifing municipality, where work is intensifying ahead of the country's 60th independence anniversary. Hussein Fatali is a consultant for Pace Gamex, the supervisors of the 1.9-kilometer urban roads covering Kanifing Estate, East, South and the industrial area.
For lot number 1, the overall progress of work is about now 65%. And for lot number 2 is about 62% now. Well, inshallah, as per the revised work program, they have to finish the work by end of March 2025.
Here is Minister Silla's reaction on the overall pace of work.
We have seen much progress from the previous visits. Today, in many of the roads that we visited, we are doing the last finishing touches, erection of electric poles, also the solar lights, the drainage, completion of the drainage facilities, and now we are talking about the construction of speed bumps and also other traffic signs that are to be done very soon.
Minister Silla made his next stop at the 2.6-kilometer Bundong Highway, a key route connecting major settlements within the Kanifing municipality.
Once dominated by major potholes, the 2.6-kilometer Bundong Highway is registering significant improvements in terms of works and is expected to be completed as the country celebrates its 60th independence anniversary.
Once completed, these new routes will be provided with road signs and markings and solar-powered street lights. Osman Sanyang, the managing director of the National Roads Authority, explains the reason for a delay with ongoing road projects.
Most of the time, up to the two years before when the project started, they were just concentrating mainly on demolitions and relocations. Those things are quite challenging, especially in an environment like this where these things are not sort of documented. So it's a hit and miss. So sometimes you go, there's no indication of a pipe, or you don't know there's a pipe there and you hit a pipe. You go to demolish things, we use the police to go and help us, sometimes it's challenging. You're demolishing people's houses where they've been living, where they've grown up. These are all challenging issues.
Moving swiftly from Kanifing, the minister made his way to Lot 2 in the West Coast region. This phase, which covers a significant stretch of road, is equally important in facilitating better connectivity between the region's towns and villages. Matar Sise is a permanent secretary at the Ministry of Transport, Works and Infrastructure.
We looked at obviously where we can actually have the most impact on the population, where we can promote connectivity, and where we can help to actually make sure that we improve the accessibility of roads, because this also translates to the upkeep of vehicles. It also helps to promote the public transport aspect.
In Brufut, Minister Silla and his team inspected the roadside drainage, which involved culverts and gutters, ensuring that they meet the right standards to allow the smooth flow of water during the rainy season to avoid flooding. Amidst this significant transformation, some local residents have started connecting their sewage pipes to the public drainage, coupled with littering of the newly constructed gutters, while businessmen use the roadside walks to display their products. Minister Silla reveals plans to put a stop to this.
I want to appeal to the Gambia Police Force, to swiftly go into action and stop this, because if not, the roads are going to be destroyed. The beauty of the roads will not be seen.
The inspection will continue throughout the country over the coming days as the minister seeks to evaluate and assess not just the physical progress of the work, but also the logistical and financial aspects of each project. The nationwide tour represents a pivotal moment in the government's push to modernize Gambia's transport sector, improve road safety, and boost economic growth through better connectivity. Osman Jata reporting for QTV News.
The Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy is organizing a senior management intra-sectoral retreat aimed at enhancing coordination and aligning sectoral programs for improved outcomes. Aliu Cisse tells us more.
This retreat is an opportunity for the ministry and its affiliated institutions such as Gamtel Gamcel, Gambia Postal Services and the Gambia Information and Communication Technology Agency to critically review the implementation of programs in 2024, address key policy issues and develop actionable solutions to address individual and sectoral challenges. Hassan M. Jallo is the Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy.
As we look ahead, let us be guided by a clear vision of a digitally empowered society that leverages technology for the greater good.
Key areas of focus included digital transformation, policy alignment, and the efficient implementation of ongoing and upcoming programs. Lamin Jabi, the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, says the communication and digital sector contributes significantly to the government's revenue collection as it drives the growth of all other sectors. He urges heads of institutions to collaborate and support each other's efforts for the overall growth of the sector, vowing that it will no longer be business as usual.
Those days are gone when we will be seen as different competing units. GAMPost, GAMCEL, GAMTEL, it's time we look at it as we are complementing the work of one another. If I can have one whole where I will get a GAMCEL service, a GAMTEL service, and GAMPost service, why do I keep the other 3 holes or 2 other holes, 2 other houses or 2 other rooms or 2 other centers? Let's be ready to reduce the cost of our operations.
Keba Kaba Bojang, Deputy Managing Director of GAMTEL, and Lamin Cham, Managing Director of Gambia Postal Services, welcomed the retreat, expressing optimism of productive outcomes.
The ministry has various sectors on the it for administrative purpose, but also for operational purpose. And these 3 sectors need to be seen eye to eye, need to be talking to one another to help the government achieve our objective of digital economy.
Digitalization, has become a must. Like for example, for the Gambia Postal Services Corporation, we must transform, digitally, and that of course requires infrastructure. And of course, the fact of the matter is that, as at now, we are a little bit lacking behind as far as that digital, infrastructure, requirement is concerned. But we are working very closely with the ministry, and of course, all the satellite institutions under the ministry.
This was Mr. Bojang's response when asked about the possible privatization of GAMTEL and GAMCEL.
You don't just privatize for the sake of it. You want to look at the pros and cons of that privatization. State economics, some countries are nationalizing some very important key institutions that they thought would have been better when privatized. GAMTEL one is a key, because even if you privatize, what you should be looking at the commercial end. The ownership should remain, the key controls should remain with the state, because it is the security of our countries, the digital sovereignty of our country.
The outcomes from this retreat are expected to play a pivotal role in shaping the sector's future and delivering better results for the public. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliu Cisse.
That report there by Aliu Cisse will take us to a commercial break. When we return, we have more local and sports news stories for you. Do stay with us.
fii mooy fan fii mooy Inessa di place bi nga xam ne moom la ñëpp taaw place bii bépp xeetu ataaya bu baax rek bu dugg see ci dëkk bi xamal ne fii rek la am bara wërga bii neex na lool saf na ba pare tamit nag am gu bu neex boo ko naanee rek da ngay kontaan ci saas añ ba suur ba gëreesal li nga lekk jëndal baara ataaya bii ndax moom la ñëpp taamu gis nga sama client bii ataaya bu neex bu ne moom laa koy njëkk a jox ndax moom kat ataaya bu neex rek lay wër baara wërga bii mooy wërga bi gën te moo gën a saf kon nag ràññee leen ko bu baax kon daw leen gaaw ca Banjul foofu ca Inasa di place bi nga xam ni foofu rek nga ko mën a amee wholesale wala retail mu ngi foofu ci boori court house bi foofu ca Banjul wala nga daw ci bépp marché bépp supermarket bépp boutique fépp foo dugg rek di nga mën a am baara warga bii nga xam ne moom la ñëpp di wër tey baara warga moo dàq ci warga yi man maa ngi ci moom ndax su ma maree ataaya moom rek lay naan.
Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, this is the QTV Nightly News, and now to the rest of our stories. The 8th edition of the much-awaited and popular Janjambure Kankoran Festival took place over the weekend. The vibrant celebration of heritage, unity and the rich traditions of the Gambia brought together people from diverse backgrounds, including many international visitors. Loliam Kamara was there, and this is her report.
The first festival in what was then Georgetown took place in 1987. Since then, the festival has grown in size and stature. The theme for this year's festival was honoring culture, enriching unity, emphasizing that this was more than just an event, but a powerful statement about the need to foster economic growth and unite the community, preserve the past, while looking forward to a brighter future. Moriba Jamjao, the representative of the district chief, welcomed guests to the 8th edition. He recognized the efforts of individuals now deceased who laid the groundwork for the festival's current success. In his opening remarks, Mohammed Lamin Saidikan, the president of the festival organizing committee, emphasized the power of culture in fostering unity and spoke about the importance of this year's theme.
In a world that often divides us, traditions like the Kankuran serve as a unifying force. It brings people of all ages, backgrounds, and beliefs together to celebrate what we share. This festival reminds us that despite our differences, we are one people, bound by our respect for each other and our love for this land we call home.
The atmosphere was electric as the masquerades covered in their majestic Kankuran costumes took center stage. Their presence was both splendid and slightly mystical. The governor of the Central River region, Usman Ba, while recognizing the importance of this festival, called on the people of Janjambure to unite. He further reiterated the government's commitment to supporting the initiatives that promote our culture and provide opportunities for the youth in the region. Honorable Omar Jammeh, the National Assembly member for Janjambure, emphasizes the role of young people taking part in the festival since its revival in 2017-2018.
To recognize the energy of the young people of this community under the leadership of Mohammed Lamin Sadiq Justice. We couldn't really reach here without him and his entire team in terms of organizing. Others has alluded way back in 2017 when we started. It was led by the young people of this community with the blessings of our elders who actually gave us the needed support that we needed then in order to have a successful event.
The International Trade Center and the European Union are among the sponsors of this year's event. They acknowledge their participation in the festival, a vibrant celebration that showcases and promotes cultural diversity and unity. Here are Yusuf Aketa, the ITC country rep, and Immaculada I. Cortes, the EU ambassador to the Gambia.
Under the Youth Empowerment Project funded by the European Union, ITC has made significant investments in the Gambia, particularly in Janjambure. This includes the revival of the Koran festival that we are all enjoying today.
I would like to commend all those that they are involved in it, and we mentioned the Ministry of Tourism, the National Center for Arts and Culture, the Koran festival organizing committee. But I would like above all commend the performing cultural groups from the different regions of the country that have worked tirelessly to preserve and share these traditions with the world.
Cultural groups performed traditional dances, their regular movements telling stories of their ancestors and the unbreakable bond between the people of Janjambure and their land. The crowd clapped, cheered, and danced along. The festival created a sense of belonging that transcended words. Here is Siaka Fadera, Deputy Director General of the NCAC.
That the intangible cultural heritage from UNESCO has supported $100,000 to support the preservation and inventory of our ICH. And no other places but they recognized for 30 elements to be it's in this Janjambure, it's this CRR. So this CRR is playing key role in making sure that our intangible cultural heritage is preserved to the fullest.
Bakari Y. Baji, the Minister for Youth and Sports, gave the opening statement.
And you can be assured that it is a priority of the executive of the government to ensure that we continue to do our best as a government to promote culture, to promote our heritage and tradition.
With a clear vision demonstrated by the organizing committee, it was a festival not just of celebration, but of purpose to not only honor the traditions of the past, but to empower the youth of Janjambure and the Central River region to drive sustainable development through culture and tourism. The date has been set for the 9th edition of the Janjambure Koran Festival, which will be from the 23rd to the 25th of January 2026. For QTV News, Lolly M. Kamara.
Coming up next, it's Sports News. Team Hunt Down are champions of the QCell-sponsored Sukuta Nawetan League competition after winning the replay final 2-1 against Arabic School at the Dembadu football ground on Saturday. Our sports reporter Momodu Gajaga was there, and this is his report.
Having played out a stalemate in the previous match, both teams came determined to take the crown, as it was the eventual champions, Team Hunt Down, who scored first from a free kick. Captain Babukar Cham's long shot from 35 yards beat goalkeeper Ibrahim Kamara to give Team Hunt Down the lead. Arabic School FC equalized through Buba Tarawale's header after a beautiful interchange of passes. Team Hunt Down sealed their grip on the trophy in the nick of time, 89 minutes of regulation time, with Aziz Jawara powering his shot into the bottom corner of the net, ensuring a 2-1 win against Arabic School FC. Arabic School FC threw everything at it to get an equalizer, despite the little time left to play. An incident involving Sadio Toure, Team Hunt Down's goalkeeper, caused a fracas at least up to 5 minutes. The goalkeeper was injured in the melee before getting on his feet again and receiving a booking for time wasting. Here is Babukar Cham, the captain of Team Hunt Down, the champions.
I know Condano get on because I made it a matter of 8 years matter. So
we are very happy because we haven't won this trophy for 8 years. We thank God for being lucky this time. It wasn't easy at all because they are our toughest opponents in the Nawetan.
sokol leg nada no kote alhamdulillah ali am harjanda bod kolyada bagen.
Buba Mane, coach of Team Hunt Down the champions, said they rectified their mistakes made in the first final.
We change everything, our mentality, fundamental defending principle, our attacking and defensive principle, that help us. Because last game, we don't came to attack. We are there to depend on set pieces. But today, we do three things. We attack, we depend on set pieces, and we protect our goal line.
Ibrahim Bojang, coach of Arabic School FC, says their overall season was a success despite losing the final.
We tried to play well. First game, our desire wasn't so good, as I told you, but today that was improved a bit. My boys fought, they tried well with less chances though. I thought our chance creation was not very good, but you expect that in finals because everyone tried to defend well. But overall, our performance wasn't bad. I just say we are just not lucky to win this final. But overall, we had a successful season.
Medals were awarded to both the runner-up Arabic School FC and champions Team Hunt Down, with other prizes going to outstanding individual performers. Mamudu Gajaga, QTV News.
Congratulations to Team Hunt Down. Now this is all we have time for, but before we go, here is a recap of the headlines. Following an investigation, the Gambian government has revoked over a dozen land allocations in Kamalo in the Greater Banjul area following what it has called illegal land allocations in the area to several businesses and individuals. The Minister of Transport, Works and Infrastructure, Ibrahim Asilla, together with staff of his ministry and the National Roads Authority officials, began a week-long nationwide tour on Saturday of ongoing road projects. The Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy is organizing a senior management intra-sectoral retreat to enhance coordination and align sectoral programs for improved outcomes. The 8th edition of the much-awaited and popular Janjambure Kankurang Festival took place over the weekend, attracting people from diverse backgrounds, including many international visitors. In sports news, Team Hunt Down are champions of the QCell-sponsored Sukuta Nawetan League competition after winning the replay final against Arabic School at the Dembadu football ground on Saturday. This is all we have for you in this edition of the Bulletin, but do join us again at 10 p.m. for another news bulletin. Thank you for watching and have a splendid evening.